to support the platform just in case anything like this happens again, you can do it by way of PayPal, Patreon, Cash App, and also by the Anchor. And you can also further support the platform by way of going to the Teespring store or the shoe store that is located in the comment section below. A Des Moines teen who pled guilty to killing her alleged rapist in June of 2020 will be sentenced June in a Polk County courtroom. Piper Lewis, age 17, was charged with killing Zachary Brooks in the early hours of June 1st of 2020, when she was only 15 years old. Brooks, 37, of Des Moines, allegedly raped her multiple times in the weeks before Lewis killing him following another alleged assault. Lewis was charged with first-degree murder after the arrest on June 2nd of 2020. She killed Brooks by grabbing a knife from a bedside table and stabbing him 30 times, but wrote in a plea agreement that she did not plan his murder and was overcome with rage after Brooks raped her yet again. She will be sentenced at 9 a.m. Wednesday in a courtroom at the Polk County Criminal Courthouse, 10 6th Ave. The Des Moines Registry does not typically name victims of sex crimes, but Lewis agreed to have her name used previously in stories about her case. Lewis, who graduated from high school in July while in juvenile detention, agreed to plead guilty in an adult court in June of 2021 to involuntary manslaughter and willful injury. She faces up to 10 years in prison on each charge. Prosecutors have never disputed claims that Lewis was sexually assaulted or trafficked in the court or in court documents. Des Moines police detectives were curious from the beginning about Lewis's sexual relations with much older men. Iowa's age for sexual consent is 16 years of age. Teens ages between 14 to 15 can consent with people within 48 months of their age. Des Moines Police Chief Sergeant Paul Prizak stated in November that with extremely violent crimes like Lewis, it is common for officers to learn of other crimes. Given Lewis's age, sex between Brooks and Lewis would be a crime. Human trafficking cases are some of the most complex and lengthy cases the department confronts. Quote, with all criminal investigations, gathering the evidence necessary to support an accusation and to meet the standard of filing charges can take some time. Under Iowa law, perpetrators of homicides may pay victims' families $150,000. A July 20th court filing, Lewis's attorneys, Matthew Sheely, Paul White, and Magdalena Reese, asked the Polk County judge to deny Brooks' estate from the $150,000 because Lewis was an alleged sex trafficking victim. Quote, by subjecting the defendant to human trafficking and sexual abuse on June 1st, 2020, the descendant was at least 51% at fault of his own damages. Such an award as applied to this defendant and to see the circumstances will result in excessive fine and cruel and unusual punishment. So, as you guys know on this platform, more than some of the things that I've really gone off about and talked about before is pretty much advocating for the minors directly out here. She is a minor. And, like I said before, adults do not care about kids because if adults really did care, things like this wouldn't take place. So, like I keep telling people, I'm not debating people about this. I'm looking at the statistics and I'm looking at how frequent things like this are taking place. You don't have teens, in a sense, like gangs of teens, billions of teens all over the world trafficking, other teens. That's not how that works. They have adults trafficking these teens, kidnapping them, all this other type of stuff. In some instances, you have parents trafficking their own kids, right? And I've covered stories about that as well. Um, at the end of the day, she's innocent. She did what she had to sit up there and do. This was 100% of self-defense. This person was stated to have repeatedly done this to her multiple times because he could. And like I said, she's a trafficking victim. Things like this also wouldn't take place if the justice system that was in place made sure to protect minors. Yet again, adults not caring about kids. Um, the main thing that I've always set up there and stated to people is that, yo, if you got, a little girl or a little boy, whatever it is, kids in general, give them self-defense classes. Put them in self-defense classes. Teach them how to defend themselves with a array of different items. Watch YouTube videos, watch YouTube tutorials, so that they can learn how to escape from somebody who is larger than them. um like I said, this is why I've stated a multitude of times in a multitude of videos that women, y'all should be teaching these young girls out here self-defense. All of y'all should sit up there together as a group or whatever, go to self-defense classes. Because more times than not, you'll always find young girls, young women being trafficked, and they don't exactly know how to get out of a circumstance because they're vulnerable, because they are fearful. That's because they don't know any other method. They're afraid for their lives. If they knew that there was a better chance of them fighting back, they would actually do it. I would rather, in a sense, have those young women, or the women in general, taking life into their own hands, defending themselves, and having to face a jury, than them having to stay within that type of captivity for 20 plus years and still end up having their lives taken. But when you try to get this message across to a multitude of people, all you hear is people overlooking the message, and they just want to say, oh, but if men did this, if men did that, if men did this, if men did that. And I keep telling people, you're going to have people out here that are going to do what it is that they want to do regardless, right? Some people are vegans, other people are carnivores, some other people are, I guess, what is it, omnivores, or whatever it is. They do both. People are going to do whatever they want to do at the end of the day. So regardless of men trying to tell other men out there like, yo, stop doing this, treat women better, yada yada yada, you're still gonna have men out there that's going to want to treat women the way that they want to treat them. Right? So the main thing I'm telling women out here is that if you got these young girls and you know that you are a single parent or whatever it is, or that however the situation is working, yo, don't be spending money on stuff that is complete nonsense. Take some self-defense classes. Try to find something. They have a whole bunch of, I guess, like grants or whatever it is. They got money out there government wise where women can use that to sit up there and take these self-defense classes. They got tons of free money out there for people, and it's amazing to me that people don't look this stuff up. So realistically, there is not an excuse as to why it is that people can't go do these things. And I'm pretty sure some people are going to roll up, well, I just don't have the time to do it because I got a busy life. But if your life is so busy, then how do you make time for the stuff that you really want to do? Oh, that's right, you make time. So you'll make time for trash, but you won't make time for something that's going to protect you, give you a higher life expectancy, that's going to add more defense and value to your life, something that's going to empower you. And not only empower you, but it's also going to empower other women that are near you and young girls. But like I said before, instead of people taking the initiative, you'll have people that want to keep consistently complaining. Like I said, at the end of the day, it's up to you. But she's innocent.